Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to match 13 in my Age of Empires series. Today it's a 1v1 in Great Plains. I am Russian. We are playing a Sioux. So we are going to see what the Sioux can do. Returned from my hiatus, I guess you could say. I'm all moved in. I am situated in my new home and I got my internet up and going and kind of got my schedule worked out, so we're going to see how this works here. Now, immediately to start off the game, I try to get my villagers off to different crates, but there isn't any lag actually in the game, which is a good thing, right? Well, the lack of lag means that I unfortunately do not get them all into different crates as fast as I should have been able to. So unfortunately, I do have a bit of resource time wasting, although I do get out my second set of villagers, or first set I guess you could say, fairly quickly. Only 4 buffalo near me to start. I hate that. I hate that about this map. I wish you would start with a full herd in your town, but you start with like between 2 and 4 or something ridiculously bad. And that to me just sucks. But I find another herd fairly close by, so I think after I'm done with the wood, I'm just like that guy to go get it, bring it back. But he starts walking off the different way. I don't think I've noticed yet. I'm going to notice soon. There we go. I noticed now. I try to grab him. There we go. I get him to go finally. It's been a while since I played this game. I didn't have much time to play while getting situated and moving, so now I'm back into it. But my playing this game isn't stellar at all. In terms of strategy of this game, though, I'm not familiar with the Sioux. I know they have a generally good rush, but I'm not exactly sure what makes it generally good. Like, I'm guessing it involves cavalry somehow because they are a cavalry-based civ, so I'm definitely not going to go Strelets, but at the same time, knowing that they rely on cavalry, that means their army is really expensive to man and field, so that might not actually be a bad thing for me, because my army, on the other hand, is cheap and mass-produced, so while it's not the greatest, I can probably swamp him with numbers. That at least is a thought in my mind, but in order to swamp him with numbers, I am going to probably at least start off with musketeers till I'm aware of what type of cavalry he's making. And I say what type of cavalry he's making because I presume he's only going to go with one type of cavalry. Since they're so expensive to make, I doubt that he's going to have his resources or his villagers distributed 2 ways where he can actually properly handle having 2 types of cavalry being fielded in an early rush. Late game, obviously, he could. Early game, he couldn't. He's got 1,300 wood in his deck, so he obviously is going to send out some cavalry. That is for sure. I'm going to do a 14 villager age up. I think the choices are 14 or 17 generally. I'm worried about facing a rush that's really fast, so I'm going to go 14. I don't want to accidentally let him get the drop on me or get an advantage or a tempo on me in terms of attacking and defending. I want to try to rush him because I'm Russian. I'm trying to herd back to me. Not doing a great job with my herding. Your micromanagement, as with any game that's requires skill, it suffers when you don't play it for a bit. You miss things like one of those villagers should have automatically gone to the crates, or probably all of them immediately, and then they should have moved, but it didn't happen. I'm up there. I'm trying to run away from him, but I don't think I'm able to. Let's see. I'm still walking up. You notice in the minimap, I'm still walking, but I think I stop right there or something, because he does kill my explorer, and I'm not sure how or why. I don't know if I told him to stop, or maybe, it's because his route was to go back towards the outlaw pistolman who was shooting me. So I'm going to lose my explorer. That is not a good thing at all. Unfortunately, I screwed up there. I do send the 300 wood to build a blockhouse first age. That's generally my preferred strategy. I've lost too many forward blockhouses sent with the wood trickle card. So I think just 300 wood straight up in the beginning is something I would fancy much more. I do send 2 villagers to build it. I should have sent 1. I do have those 2 villagers walking like idiots around the blockhouse. They shouldn't have been. They should have been herding. Stupid noob mistakes being made here. First game back in a while. My score and his score were actually fairly close at this point. So I don't know what the Sioux can do. I don't know what to expect from the Sioux. I actually haven't played many games, if any, that I can remember recently against the Sioux. It's not a civilization you see much on the Asian dynasties, and I'm not sure why. It's probably just because people like to lame the more overusive, the Russian, the Japan, whatever. So, not quite sure what to expect in entirety from the Sioux, but I'm about to age up. I do have my blockhouse now built. I do have 5 people on musketeers. I'm thinking a 9-5 split's probably plenty, because musketeers are about like a 3/4 or 3/4 food, 1/4 coin, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. So I think that's a good enough split in order to make to maintain a solid production of musketeers. We'll see if it is in time. I know you guys don't know, but you'll see. So if you're taking notes, I do try to divvy it up that way, and I do only leave one settler to gather the wood from the aging, and that wood is going to go into extra houses. Potentially, if you're really micromanaging, well, you could build 2 houses and a market. I guess if you're going with musketeers, you don't really need to save the wood for strelets, so market probably is a smarter way to go about it. But I choose not to build a market. I choose to save the wood because I do plan to mix in strelets with my army, just not right off the bat. And I walk off there and I'm trying to find his settler. I saw it on the mini map, but I couldn't see it in the herd there. Then I see it, so then I send them to walk away. I keep making villagers, keep making musketeers. I sent those musketeers to walk away, by the way, because I had Cossacks coming. Maybe I should have sent them to kill there, and then have the Cossacks walk by afterwards. That way he doesn't know I have the Cossacks on his side. But I was happy doing it this way. I'm looking for a herd near him that I could raid, but I don't see one, unfortunately. I see one far to my left where my explorer was killed, but I doubt he's herding there at this point in the game. It does look like I have a free pass straight to his town center, but I don't really have the firepower to kill it. I want to kill units first, you know what I mean? And he's got some C10 bows, kind of like I expected. They cost food and wood, by the way, so yeah, whatever. I go to kill those villagers, and I see some bow riders, and I'm familiar with bow riders because, you know, I've played every civilization, so I'm aware of them. But I wasn't aware they could be made in the Second Age, and I wasn't aware they were actually that good against cavalry. I thought rifle riders were the units that were the best, but I did lose one of my Cossacks right off the bat, unfortunately. Having seen that he has C10 bows and bow riders, I think, you know what, I could just put a million shots on the field and win the game. So that's my general goal at this point. I am going to keep making villagers. It's kind of hard with a rush, especially when you don't have that many resources. Finding the balance between, alright, this is the amount of villagers, or this is the amount of villagers what I'm trying to say is you want to keep up constant military and constant villager production. So it's very difficult when you have a very limited amount of resources to manage it properly. So I'm trying to almost alternate which batch I'm making, and I'm at 20 villagers so far. That's not too bad. I should be able to support, currently at least, a pretty consistent flow of men. His army comes, and unfortunately, you notice how those strelets weren't near there? They didn't back up those Cossacks, so pretty much all those Cossacks and those musketeers die before the strelets can get there to help, and that's just like a major facepalm. I lost, what, 5 or 6 units there? Being an idiot, being a noob, I really need to just pay better attention to my military and contested areas. For some reason, I just don't. He's using his war chief here, by the way, to very, very good effect. It's kind of being a melee, doing a meleeing thing on my soldiers, and yeah, it's doing really, really well. It's kind of, I don't think it's actually hurting my soldiers that much. I think actually what's happening is almost a psychological kind of factor in that I see him meleeing my soldiers, even though it's probably doing like 6 or 7 points of damage. I feel compelled to shoot it first. So I am prepared to move those villagers out from that mine, but he's not attacking them yet, and I just want to get a little bit more of a stockpile of gold. It looks like I'm probably going to need to attempt to get Minutemen, so I'm going to need to be aware that Minutemen is going to be called. So I wanted to get the extra gold. I have 600 gold at this point, and that's good because my plan is to run over here, get a bunch more food, get a blockhouse thrown up there, and then I will start making more musketeers. I'll keep to the plan because now that I got a nice stockpile of gold. I send those villagers to wood. I make another 3 villagers. I'll have 26 villagers total. And I'm about to lose a blockhouse. I'm guessing after I lose that blockhouse, he's going to push on straight to my town center. And at this point, I'm looking at it. I don't think there's that much I could do to save it. I am going to call the Minutemen, though. I have the resources to. And really, it's kind of the purpose of calling the Minutemen is to stall him in reality. I don't want it to be a fast and easy takedown for him because I need to have the time to get the wood and build up that blockhouse on the eastern side of the map. I'm using the Minutemen there, by the way, to shoot the dog soldiers, and the reason why is those 2 dog soldiers will one-hit pretty much all my strelets. 2 hit my strelets. 2 of them will one-hit my strelets. So if those dog soldiers don't die, I am royally screwed. So I set my waypoint for the villagers coming out of the town center to inside the town center so I can shoot that dog soldier. And that way, if that dog soldier dies, then I could go, in theory, pure Strelette without being in trouble. So, looks like the dog soldier will die. So I start to build a blockhouse, obviously, and there are cavalry right there. And I was just like, crap. So immediately what I do, by the way, is I destroy my own building. And the reason why is if you destroy your own building while building it, you'll get back the wood, like percentage that hasn't been into it. Let's say like you're building a 200 wood building and you've built it up to 60 hit points, then you'll get 140 of the wood back if it's like a 200 hit point, 200 wood building, if that makes sense. It's a ratio. So that's why I destroyed it. I was able to get back most of the wood there. Anyway, you may have noticed that my opponent said GG there. And I was just like, wow. I mean, that's just a really rude thing to do in a game. You don't just tell your opponent it's over. I mean, that's just, it's really rude. I do send those villagers away, by the way, not because I think they're going to live, but because I want to delay my town centers dying a little bit more. Blockhouse is almost up. I'm going to send my 13 Strelettes as soon as that blockhouse is up and running. So it's important to me that I buy as much time as possible. And the way I could have bought time was by moving his army around the map and away from where I'm currently hiding. Unfortunately, sending those 3 villagers up top will make them think I actually ran up top with my villagers, that I don't think he caught them sneaking out of my town. Anyway, at this point, I'm about to lose my town center. I'm looking at where to send my villagers, and I actually send them back closer to my blockhouse to make wood. That was just a general strategy principle. I'd lost my town center, and I knew I was going to lose it. I couldn't hold on to it. I can't lose the villagers. The villagers are the core of my economy, not my town center. It's absolutely vital that I keep producing villager, or that I keep every villager alive. That way, I can keep making military units. My plan is to get 50 Strelettes out, and let's see what he can do against 50 Strelettes. I don't know how much he can do. Again, he offers to me to quit and then tells me to come on, and that actually really, and I mean really, spurs me on to play. And the reason why that spurs me on to play is because that means it makes me at least feel that he's not in for a long game, if that makes any sense. It makes me feel like he doesn't want to slug this one out for however long it takes to win or lose a game. I think he's kind of like, alright, I did my rush, why didn't you quit yet? You can see that bow rider ride by there. He's now just scouting across the map, looking for my villagers. I shoot one bow rider, kill it. I get the second bow rider at the blockhouse, kill it. I'm going to kill a third. Okay, don't kill a third, but I think I killed 2 successfully. And that's really good for me. So he's now going to rally up his army to try to run. But they run by, and I kill another one. So I've killed 3 or 4 of his really expensive cavalry for free with my massed army. And he just quits. And I was just shocked. And I get why. Because, he just lost some cavalry, and he doesn't have that many. And I was able to amass some soldiers. But that was just a really lame ending. It was a dissatisfying ending. Unfortunately, I didn't have much time to record another match, so this was a match I recorded. And I had to re-narrate it because I screwed up the first time. I didn't record it on accident. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to bring better gameplay, better narration, different match types, different civilizations, and the such in the very, very near future. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I'm just going to thumb through the post-game. He had more resources, by the way. He killed more units. My economy actually was better, so that kind of surprised me, generally. My total resource gathering was slightly more, so I'm wondering if you forgot to make villagers or something. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll bring you better, I'll bring you better games that aren't so one-sided in the future. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.